This broadcast is a Stephen K. Media production.
The success of the small business person is the cornerstone of the American economy. Welcome to the Small Business Today Show with your hosts, Cruz and Hughes. The Small Business Today Show is for and about small business advancement and development. What we do for you. We'll be taking your calls as we provide you small business intelligence and mentorship needed to grow your business creatively. Keep listening. The Small Business Today Show with Cruz and Hughes starts now.
Hello and welcome back to today's episode of Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes right here on Blog Talk Radio, where we come at you live at 5 every single day, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Guys, this is the place where we discuss the topics that inspires entrepreneurs from thought to action. We welcome your calls, your comments, your questions. If you want to join the conversation, you can give us a call right now at 347-857-3958. Again, that number is 347-857-3958. It's Monday. I'm happy to be back in the office. And
that's right.
How was your day today, sir?
My day went fantastic, man. The Texans won.
as much as they tried to give the game away.
As ugly as it was, it was a W, and I'm all right with that.
We'll take that.
We'll take that. We'll take it ugly. That's all right.
So what do you think is going to happen next week?
I think that it's going to be uglier.
But you think they'll pull it off?
No, I do think they'll pull it off. I think it's going to be an upset.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an upset just because the Boston area media has come out and raked the Houston Texans over the coals, calling them frauds and suspects.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Which I'm thrilled about.
Yeah. Hey, take this for life.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm thrilled about that. I mean, a lot of people don't look at it that way, but see, I'm absolutely thrilled about that. And those of you, let me tell you what, before we get too far into this, those of you who are watching us on Ustream.tv, remember you can always go to cruzandhughes.com. Watch us on Ustream.tv if you just happen to want to look in and see what is going on a radio show during the break. You can always do that. And those of you who are on the Android platform, whatever Android device you might have, you can go in the Google Play Store and just search for Small Business Today Radio, and you can download and install our Android app, and you can take us with you each and everywhere you go.
Well, if you are watching us at cruzandhughes.com, you're probably wondering who is the gentleman sitting to the left of Irvin. And we have a good friend of ours. His name is Jack Warkenth. He is the CEO of Next Step Solutions. Now, in addition to being the CEO of Next Step Solutions, Jack is also the newest Araya Clean franchise owner and regional developer, and Jack has plans to make Houston the cleanest city in the country, one parking lot at a time. And if you would like to join him, he's bringing a total of 10 franchises to the Houston area, and you can always give us a call or give Jack a call, and we're going to talk a little bit about Jack's newest adventure. And Jack, I want to say Happy New Year and welcome to the show.
Happy New Year, John Cruz and Irv Hughes. You got me inspired just by listening to that introduction. Man, little hairs on the back of my neck are already standing up. We haven't even started.
Well, it's a new year, and you have a new venture that you're involved in. Now, today we're going to talk about the American dream and how to secure your American dream. But before we do, I got to talk to you a little bit about this new venture.
Sure.
Now, you're always doing something that's innovative, that's new, that's on the cutting edge. Tell us a little bit about this.
Sure. Let me tell you the genesis first, John,
okay,
as to why we ended up buying a franchise and a territory. I was like the millions of other people, probably like your listeners, where for years I've been trading time for money.
Right.
Now, you can make a fine living trading time for money, but you never really build wealth. And the problem with most people is they're going to spend as much money as they make, regardless of how much or how little. And in most cases, I'm sad to say, they end up with too much month left at the end of their money.
That's right.
You probably know people like that.
Absolutely.
And it's a rat race, and it is a mill. And so I decided that, hey, I've got to start looking at my future. I've done a terrible job of building wealth personally, true confession. I was way too dependent on stocks, bonds, equities, mutual funds, 401ks. And so I decided that there's got to be a better way. So really, the story of the American dream is one that I'm writing as we go along.
Wow.
And I needed to make a change in my life, and now I want to help share the good news with others who may be interested in getting off the treadmill and start building wealth and not just trading time for money.
You know, Irv, as he says that, you know what I'm thinking about? There's nothing better than a living example.
That's right.
And in everything that I do, I strive to be that living example. Practice what you preach. I mean, it's one thing to say do this and to say do that, and
Right.
and people are watching your actions.
Of course.
And we have to be congruent with what we say. I love that, Jack.
Are you ready for a Jack snack? You know I always share Jack.
Absolutely. Let's
And
do
it's
it.
about dinner time, but mine never have any carbohydrates, cholesterol, or calories. You ready for one?
Let's go.
Here it is. The best teachers are ones whose life is the text.
Yes.
I love it.
The best teachers
Yes.
are ones whose life is the text.
You got
So I
that.
hope to be a teacher of folks who want to start building wealth, but above all, enjoying their American dream.
Sure.
It's there for everyone. In fact, I'm kicking around the name of my second book, and it's going to have a working title, something like Discover Your Brilliance, How to Unlock the Treasure Within.
I love it.
Because what I've learned is so many people live their entire life and their brilliance goes uncovered or undiscovered, and I contend that everybody has it. It's just a matter of finding it.
Yes.
So the American dream means going deep within yourself, knowing you can do it, and now let's find it. Let's dig it out and find it, because there's people all over around you every day who are living the American dream. Why not you?
You know, I'm going to tell you something. I always say that people are little pieces of a big God, and even in those little pieces, we have to find that brilliance. And man, when we come back, we're going to pick up right where we left off. And then I also want to know, what's your interpretation of the American dream?
Sure.
And then let's get into that a little bit.
That'll be good.
Guys, you're listening to Small Business Today, which is brought to you by Small Business Today magazine. It is the only magazine that is for and about entrepreneurs right here in the Houston area. If you would like to get your copy, you can go to www.smallbusinesstodaymagazine.com. Put your information in, and we'll send one to your email inbox each and every month. Stay with us. More from Jack Warkenth right after these messages.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
or even worse,
We've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
so how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at,
Excuse me, heavy news?
you know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
With my Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus headset, I'm free. Free to talk to you while carrying a laptop bag, holding a cup of coffee, and fishing for my car keys. Now, you may ask me, Jim, is it really necessary to use the phone while doing all these things? My answer is it really necessary not to? Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus. It's my so comfortable, why wouldn't I use it all day headset.
Get your Voyager Pro Plus at Plantronics.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today. Visit us on the web at cruiseandhughes.com. Here are your hosts, Cruz and Hughes.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Our guest today is Mr. Jack Warkenth. Jack is the CEO of a company called Next Step Solutions. He's also recently entered into a new venture, and that venture is called Araya Clean. Now, Jack, before we get into the American Dream, Araya Clean does what specifically?
Thank you for asking. Araya Clean is the first franchise that does pressure and power washing for the outside of buildings, retail, industrial, commercial, strip centers, and there's also a high-end residential element to it. So Houston's a perfect market because we have the mold and you can do it all year round. But the job of Araya Clean is pressure and power washing outside structures.
Gotcha.
And the problem with that space is no one's ever rolled it up. There's not a level of professionalism. There's no one national player. There's a bunch of small independent mom and pops with beat-up pickup trucks with a power washer they bought at Home Depot.
Sure.
But nobody's created a national presence, a regional presence, and a local presence. So for people like Tillman Fertitta who own restaurants, or H-E-B's where there's multiple or franchises, we now have a company where you can secure a national contract, single source billing, and consistency and professionalism across the country for people who own similar businesses.
Wow, that's fantastic.
And this is real new. Now, there's a risk involved, but the company is only a year old, but the franchisors, headquartered in Gilbert, Arizona, had a home run on their hands in 2005. They brought out Synergy Home Healthcare Services, and they created a national network of 134 locations in 36 states. So they've already hit a home run. Araya Clean, if you want ground floor on a service that everybody pays for anyway, with a recurring revenue stream, with a low barrier to entry, it might be something to consider.
Now, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask, you were talking about kind of a professional platform that, you know, I would guess consolidates if you're a business that you have multiple properties and multiple locations.
Yeah.
Now you've got one source you can go to that takes care of all of that.
Yeah, let me give you an example. A gentleman I just read in the paper this last week bought another 49 Popeyes restaurants.
Yeah.
He now has 70. Now they're all over the city and including San Antonio. But each of those locations are making their own decision in terms of how to wash their parking lot in the dumpster.
Sure.
Sometimes it's a local business. Sometimes it's a different business. We go to that gentleman, and I plan to do this, by the way, and offer one company who can cover all 70 of his restaurants for one uniform rate, fee, billing, and it makes it real easy for him.
Takes all the guesswork out of it.
Takes all the guesswork out of it. It gives them uniform consistency. We're always there with khaki pants on and a nice golf shirt. We've upped the game for something as basic as power washing.
Sure. That's awesome.
Now, what attracted you? How did you find this company?
Yeah, I can't take the credit for that. I have to give the credit to a company called Franchoice, which ironically is a broker franchise.
Really?
And Steve Maker was the gentleman who I actually heard him do a presentation at the Houston Entrepreneur Forum, and he was talking about buying franchises. And I've been looking to buy a business. John, I've even told you about a couple I've looked at, and we'll talk about the differences between buying an existing business and buying a franchise. But his message that morning at the Briar Club hit me between the eyes because he made me realize that as a corporate expat, if you want to build wealth, you're going to have to own a business. It's a matter of buying one or starting one. And when he gave me the quadrants, he hit me because I told him my criteria. I said, Steve, I've never looked at buying a franchise, but here's what I'm looking for. I want a low barrier to entry, which means I only have limited capital.
Sure.
I don't want to invest everything in the world. And so I said it needs to be a relatively low price point, and it's $37,500 for a franchise fee, another $30,000 in equipment. $75,000 gets you in owning a business.
Not bad.
Not bad. You can use your IRA or 401k, and sure, we'll get back to that. That was number one. Number two, I wanted a fast return on my investment. It is a very, very profitable business. Power washing has very nice, attractive, high net margins.
Sure.
So you get your money back faster.
Gotcha.
Number 3, I wanted a pioneer concept. I wanted something new. I wanted ground floor. I didn't want the 17,000th subway. I wanted something fresh,
That's
and I'm
right.
not talking about a sandwich. And this was only a year old, and jumping in, I would have been the 11th franchise and the 5th regional developer in the world.
Wow.
And number 4, I wanted it to be a business-to-business service.
Sure.
line. I like B2B.
Sure.
I want to call
I do
on
too.
restaurant owners
Oh,
and
man, that's
building
your space.
owners. It's my space.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to be knocking on doors in the hood,
Right.
although you can do their houses.
Right.
And then I had a 5th criteria. I wanted to bring my boys into a business. Their
Sure.
ages 22, 24, and 26. My oldest one is doing very well in Denver, Colorado.
Okay.
But my 2 younger ones, who I nicknamed Dooless and Clueless, love them to death. They just haven't figured out what they want to be when they grow up.
Gotcha.
And they've grown up.
Sure.
So I'm going to bring them in one at a time in a business
Sure.
that's easy to understand, and I can put them to work.
Awesome.
That's
I mean,
awesome,
you know
Dad.
what? And I think if we're segueing this into the American dream, I think that you speak for thousands upon thousands of other Americans who may have reached a point in their life where, Irv, you say
Yep.
this all the time.
Yep.
There are hard times right now in the country.
That's right.
Most people are underemployed.
That's right.
And that's a
Yeah.
term that I stole from Irvin.
I will tell you they're under, or unhappily employed.
That's right.
Absolutely.
All 3.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And in fact, it's funny you say that, because one of the business brokers I met with last week said she sells a lot of franchises through the BJM,
Mm-hmm.
between job ministry.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And she taught me something. This is Adrienne Lee of Murphy Business Systems. And she taught me something because I've been a speaker to that group. And there's a lot of people who are corporate expats who have a 401k or an
That's right.
IRA, but no job.
That's right.
So I also wanted an opportunity for them to invest that. You can. You can
Absolutely.
understand it better
You
than I
can.
can, Irv.
Right.
But they can use that 401k IRA to buy a business.
Oh, absolutely. And more than that, Jack, somebody who wants to buy a franchise, oftentimes you can structure financing either through what's called a Borsa plan.
Thank you.
Where they can actually use the proceeds from their 401k, and let me tell you the big benefit, the loophole, if you will, in the IRS rules is that they don't get the money. The money is directly invested into their business. Right?
Yes.
So because they're taking an equity position in the business, and there's specific structures for that, and there are accountancy firms that specialize in doing Borsa plans so that you can finance your own business. But let me tell you what, folks, if you've got money sitting around in a 401k and you're between jobs, you ought to take a look at this.
Wow.
Because there are absolutely rules so that you can literally roll that money, just like you don't pay taxes when you roll money from
We
one
have a new
401k
partnership,
to another.
Irv.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I don't do that.
Yeah, well,
you do.
Well, yeah, well, I do, and that's the thing. I'm a finance guy. You guys know I'm a commercial banker, right? So, but to answer your question, Jack, yeah, that's absolutely the finance vehicle for the group you're
I'm
talking
glad to know that. I'm going to send them to you.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to apologize to those people who may be watching today because I am totally underdressed. I'm very embarrassed. I've done radio for years, but I've never been on camera that I know of. So next time I'll wear a higher level polo shirt.
Well, you always look good to me, man. I mean, yeah, don't sweat it. Now, let's talk about the American dream, and we're gonna segue this back to taking ownership in a company and controlling and owning your future. But what is, Jack, your idea when you talk about the American dream? Tell me a little bit about where you're coming from.
Let me tell you, and I have learned so much from the minority population primarily.
Mm-hmm.
I will use the Asians as an example right now because I got to know Danny Wynn recently, and he's a city councilman in Fort Bend County, and he lives in Missouri City. And he is a perfect example. He's my picture child for an immigrant, for a minority who comes in and lives the American dream.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean by that is you sit down and decide that I want to control my destiny. I want to be John Cruz, Inc., and I want to be the CEO. And you save money, and you work hard, and you build something that's yours, and you're not working for the man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're working for yourself. And the American dream means in a few years, if you invest time and money, you will have an entity where you've been working for your money, and now the money works for you.
That's
Correct.
it.
You've established and reached the American dream when you've trained your money to work for you versus the other way around.
That's right.
So now if you don't show up a day or two or a month or two, the money's working for you. You have built an entity that you own, and that is the American dream. And by the way, I suggest anybody who gets into franchising have a 5-year liquidity plan. Don't assume you're going to be in it forever, because part of the American dream is building something special and then 5 years later selling it for fun and profit.
That's right.
And the American dream is often culminated when you've built something, sold something, and you put that big fat check in the bank. And you can't do that when you're trading time for money.
You know what, Jack? You're talking about building some serious wealth right there. When we come back, we absolutely have to touch on that, because I have some things I want to share with our listening audience about that very thing, and how franchising and a franchise opportunity that fits you, which this very well could be for you, could be your key to getting you right where you want to go.
No doubt, no doubt. And, and in addition to that, Jack is talking about wealth progressions.
Sure.
And there are 3 wealth progressions: arithmetic, geometric, and exponential.
That's
and
right.
what Jack is talking about, time for money, is the arithmetic,
That's
where your
right.
money grows slower than taxes and inflation.
Right.
He's talking about getting you from that to possibly to that exponential progression.
That's right.
And we'll talk a little bit more about that when we come back out of the break.
Absolutely. So, folks, are you playing checkers when everyone else is playing chess? We don't know. But guess what? We're going to talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by DirecTV with over 285 channels and NFL Sunday Ticket. Packages start at just $29.99 a month. You can sign up today by calling them at 888-344-9296. Don't go away. Get your pen and paper handy. We'll be back right after these messages.
Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
With my Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus headset, I'm free. Free to talk to you while carrying a laptop bag, holding a cup of coffee, and fishing for my car keys. Now, you may ask me, Jim, is it really necessary to use the phone while doing all these things? My answer is it really necessary not to? Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus. It's my so comfortable, why wouldn't I use it all day headset.
Get your Voyager Pro Plus at Plantronics.com.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
or even worse,
We've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
so how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
Welcome back to the show. Our guest today is Mr. Jack Warkenth. We're talking about Jack's newest business. He's brought a new business here to Houston, and he's excited about it. We're excited to have him on the show. Now, Jack, for people who want to get in touch with you, how can they do so?
Sure, good question. They can email me at jackwarkenth@ariaclean.com.
Okay.
Or even call me on my cell phone. I consider your listeners my special friends. 832-344-6998. And I will take emails, calls, and I promise if they came from the Hughes and Cruz Show, they're going to get a return call or email.
And you're on the social media platforms as well, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. So I'm sure Jack isn't hard to find. I don't know too many Warkenth.
No, the problem is spelling the name.
You want to spell it for him?
Yes, Warkenthin. Because I was taught I before E except after C. So the biggest problem, most people, they juxtapose the E and the I at the end.
And I was guilty of that as well. So, but I'm straightened out now.
Yes, you're a straight man, John. I will admit that.
Now, we were talking about building wealth in this country, and I know that you had a comment that you wanted to make, but I want you to save it just for 1 second. One of the things that you talked about was the way money, or the way we've been accustomed to saving money or trying to build wealth. And I'm using the word try on purpose because very few of us are successful when we're doing that. And we've always tried to put paper securities into our model. We've always looked at working for an organization for 30 years and retiring and having a pension and having that corporation respect the time that you've put in. We don't have that anymore.
Not anymore.
I mean, it's like every man
My dad's
for himself.
generation, 33 years in the gold watch, that's gone. He retired from Illinois Bell. That is no longer here.
And you know what, Jack? I did some research, and I came up with something. Amidst all of the corporation scandals, then you find out that the Fed's flow funds report tells you that banks are sitting on over $1.7 trillion.
That's right.
And if you look at what the corporation are hoarding in its coffers, that puts you somewhere in the neighborhood of about $4.8 trillion. And those numbers come from the IRS in terms of how much cash is being held by American corporations. They're not investing money into the system. I mean, what are people to do?
Yeah. See, unfortunately, in corporate America today, it's a buyer's market, not a seller's market. So the largest group of unemployed people in the country, don't take this wrong, I call them BWMs, beached white males. People who are 50-something, 60-something, who've been accustomed to their corporate job, and now the job has gone away. Corporate America has walked away from them. So they're driving their BMWs to their Better Jobs Ministry because they're males, and it's the same for any other ethnic group. The problem is we've got a lot of 50-something, 60-something people out there who have the rest of their life and no way to account for it. And so that's why it's time to make a bold move, and that's why businesses, real estate's another way to build wealth, don't misunderstand, but I believe the way to do it is to start or to buy a business and grow it from there.
Absolutely. You know, I couldn't help but just really take in what you were saying there, Jack, because, Jack, there's a ton of people who are at that funny age, and the truth is they're not dead yet. I mean, they're a long way from that. And after 30 years, they're out of a job. And here's the thing, folks, if that's you, you already have done something well enough for someone to pay you to do it. But you can't throw away, you know, you and I were just talking about that before we came on the air. You can't throw away 20-some-odd years worth of experience, but you can redirect it. You can put that energy and effort back to work. You see, here's the problem. If you do not employ yourself, if you do not deploy your skills, someone is always going to employ you. And
now, let me make a comment right there. It's real important. The problem is so many people fall into this morass. They create this big pity party, and they start beating themselves up.
Right.
I tell you this. You're not defined by your past. You're prepared by it.
That's right.
Let's get over it, and let's move on.
That's good, brother. That's good. Amen.
I love it. I love
That's
it.
absolutely right. And that's why I was so excited to have you on the show. I'm always excited to be around you, the truth is. But I was excited for you to talk about this as an opportunity because a lot of times, Jack, people don't quite understand how money works. Folks, let me just tell you, money is locked away into accounts, okay? And money flows much like a river. It's one way. It's not flowing two different directions. It flows one way. Money flows out of bank accounts toward opportunities. People like Jack, people like John, people like Irv, we create opportunities.
Right.
Money flows out of those accounts toward those opportunities. When someone like a Jack Warkenth comes along and says, hey, I'm bringing jobs and bringing opportunity to Houston, you have to pay attention to that.
No doubt.
Why? Because there's an opportunity coming. That's why people who chase money stay broke. You don't chase money. You go position yourself where money is going, and you go stand there.
Right.
You go get there first. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so excited to have you on the show talking about what you're doing with this franchising opportunity and bringing a level of professionalism to that industry that just isn't there right now.
And I got to tell you, there is nothing high-tech about this industry. I know there's a lot of people out there who are involved in high-tech and technology, and God bless technology.
Sure.
But this is a basic service. So don't feel like you need a college degree or a post-college degree. If you're an entrepreneur willing to work hard, we'll make it work for you.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing that I think is missing in our society today. Too much emphasis on getting into college. The things you learn in high school, they've done away with trade shows. They've done away with trades, I mean.
Yeah.
Everything is preparing for college. Well, there's a lot of people who, A, don't want to go to college,
That's right.
and B, once they graduate, they don't get a job. So this industry, and it's not the only solution, it represents a way to make money doing something that people pay for every day anyway. And by the way, they don't just do it once.
Yeah.
They do it weekly,
and
bi-weekly,
that's
monthly, quarterly, annually.
Because as I think about it, I sit here and I think about businesses. The more traffic your business has, the bigger the need for you to keep that parking lot sparkling clean.
No, that is exactly right. And not only that, but talking about the injury hazard if you don't keep it clean.
Oh, let me give you an example. Not only do you have that, but now you have the EPA beating up these people saying, not only do you need to clean the parking lot, you need to collect that nasty water and reclaim it. Hey, here's one thing that made Orion Clean special. The first proprietary water reclamation system that collects all the nasty water and takes it out of your parking lot and into a dump.
Wow.
Because if you don't, you're going to get fined. Let me give you an example. Corpus Christi restaurant. A guy was out there with a hose cleaning the bird poop off of his porch in an hour's restaurant. The compliance officer came by and fined him $2,000 for not collecting his nasty water.
Is that right?
Because he used a hose. So think about this as another opportunity. The reason the city of Houston likes us, and I've already met with the mayor and councilman, and the reason the county loves us is because we provide a high level of compliance that the EPA says, okay, that's good. Orion Clean's doing something you all need to do.
I never knew that you had to collect that water.
Yeah, oh yeah, you better collect it. And let me ask you this now, Jack. Just as sure as we're sitting here, there are some people who are in that place where they're trying to figure out what exactly they're going to do, and they are saying maybe listening to our show here, maybe listening to you, and maybe they're getting inspired to do something about their situation, but they're thinking like I would be thinking. I have no experience whatsoever doing this. What's the answer for that question?
Yeah, that's very good. There's a couple objections that come up every time. One, I don't have any experience in the industry. My answer to that is that's why God invented technicians.
That's okay.
And he invented technicians that work for $12 to $15 an hour, and they're happy to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't expect everyone to actually do the work.
Sure.
But there is a population out there that can do the work. The second objection is I've never been trained in sales, and I don't want to make cold calls. Well, we have a unique advantage here in Houston because I still have a sales training company, and I'm willing to make the cold calls with them and make the calls with them. So the biggest objection is I've been an accountant all my life. I've been in finance. I've been in operations. Well, I'm going to help you overcome that by doing all the sales training for you, your staff, and your technicians. And because this is a relationship community, John and Irv, you know that.
Yeah. Sure, absolutely.
I'd love to share the relationships that I've forged over the years since coming here in 2005 and opening some doors for you. So I try to eliminate some of the big obstacles.
Yeah, because that was a big question, that I wanted to pull out for our listeners. Because Jack, I really understand that what you're doing is really noteworthy in a place and in a time when people literally are doing whatever they know how to do, and that's part of the problem. A lot of them don't know quite what to do. To get some straight answers about, now, how am I going to turn this into an opportunity for myself?
It's not easy. Don't misunderstand.
Right.
You're going to have to work your butt off.
Yeah.
It is not a get rich quick.
Yeah.
I like your exponential. I want to learn more about that. The problem with our society today is everybody wants to go to heaven. Nobody wants to die.
That's it, baby.
Have you noticed
That's
that?
It. Absolutely.
So we don't have that path for you.
That's right.
You're going to have to work hard.
That's right.
But you know that your work and your sweat equity is going to pay off. Maybe not this year, but in the next few years.
But here's the thing. You've been working anyway.
Yeah,
and what do you got to show for it?
That's the thing.
Right.
You've been miserable for 20 years.
That's right.
And what we're talking about is a lifestyle change. It's a paradigm shift where as you said, deploy your talents and employ yourself.
That's right.
And don't, I want to make sure your listeners understand that I'm not here saying that money can buy happiness. Money can't buy happiness, but it allows you to be sad in some pretty exotic locations. Would you agree?
I would agree with that.
So that's what we're trying to do.
And I love being sad in Monaco.
That's a whole lot better than being sad in Houston.
Exactly right. Go be sad at Tahoe.
That's right.
That's right.
We come back. I want to talk about the different aspect. Those individuals who are serial entrepreneurs. Those guys who are always looking for opportunities. Let's put a different spin on it when we come back.
Let's do that. Folks, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. We're sitting here having a conversation with entrepreneur extraordinaire Jack Warkenth. So you're gonna absolutely want to stay with us and benefit from what we're going to talk about when we come back. Now, if you need credit help, I want to refer you over to the Lexington Law Firm, folks. When you need credit help, you can get a free consultation today by giving them a call at 888-744-7081. Stay with us. The education continues right after this.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
we've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
So how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash. I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is
Coffee News. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
free.
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for Coffee News. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's Coffee News.
With my Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus headset, I'm free. Free to talk to you while carrying a laptop bag, holding a cup of coffee, and fishing for my car keys. Now, you may ask me, Jim, is it really necessary to use the phone while doing all these things? My answer is it really necessary not to? Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus. It's my so comfortable, why wouldn't I use it all day headset.
Get your Voyager Pro Plus at Plantronics.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today. Visit us on the web at cruiseandhughes.com. Here are your hosts, Cruz and Hughes.
The business is called Araya Clean. The person in the studio with us today his name is Jack Warkenth. If you'd like to contact Jack and get more information on the good information he's been giving for the past 30 or 40 minutes, you can do so by contacting him at his email address, jackwarkenth@arayaclean.com. Now, Araya is spelled A-R-A-Y-A, arayaclean.com, and Warkenth, we spell that for you in the first segment. So if you didn't catch that, it's W-A-R-K-E-N. T-H-I-E-N.
You got it. All right, John.
Before E except after C.
Wow, that's impressive.
That's pretty impressive.
Now, Jack, tell me now, if I am a business owner and I'm looking for some other opportunities, I want to diversify, if you will. You know, one of the things that Irv and I talk about, and I'm telling you, I love you much more for being so candid. One of the things we talk about is, you know, our rebirth.
Yes.
And that happened in 2008.
That's right.
We were basically born again. I'm not talking about in the blood of Christianity.
I had the same rebirth, although I'm not quite out of the tunnel yet, with a bad real estate deal that I made because I was told, and there's truth to this, that a way to build wealth is to buy single-family properties.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you about the deal I made because this is when I first came to Houston. I got some bad advice from somebody who had the right intentions but the wrong advice.
Right.
And real estate is one way to build wealth. And he ended up buying with me 14 single-family homes in a period of a half a year.
Okay.
So we were closing on single-family homes at the rate of one every other week.
Wow.
Well, a lot of things changed. The market changed. I had a partnership where he ran away with the deposits and didn't pay on the mortgages and things. I'm not a victim. I knew what I was doing. But the point is, I had to take down 14 single-family homes. And you talk about a rebirth. I'm just now getting out of the birth canal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely.
Well, that's the thing that we talk about. And, you know, and for myself, one of the things that I promised that I would never allow to happen again is that all of my eggs come from one hen, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I got a few hens in the coop this time.
And don't forget to feed the hens.
I'm feeding them very well.
Yeah, that's
so, but if one dies, I still got 2 or 3 more over there. So there are a lot of businessmen. There are a lot of businessmen who think that way. So is that also an opportunity for those guys?
That's a great question. That's a great comment. Is the fact that you can diversify your portfolio. In fact, some of the owners of these franchises, I've gotten to know all of them around the country. Some of them don't even live in the same city.
Wow.
One of them is a gentleman in Colorado who bought the territory in San Diego. He has a general manager, and he is doing this to diversify his portfolio because he has a financial services company. He's got a financial brokerage company. So people are looking at this as a way to diversify their portfolio, to invest in something that's a consumable service that everybody needs. You know the difference between wants and needs. This is something that people need. And so it's a great diversification tool for people who own real estate, want to diversify. Own business but want to diversify.
Yeah.
So it's a great path.
You know, many of our listeners are in business. They're doing well, and they're always looking for opportunity. And that's where you talk about money flowing like a river.
That's right.
Toward opportunity.
That's right.
And they're always looking for something that, like you say, a low point of entry, something that has a high yield. And, you know, and this is something that as you put it, these businesses have to have this.
They have to have it. And there's only one in town right now. That's me. And I have 10 more franchises. In fact, I've got this what I call a star strategy. I don't know where your listeners are, but let me tell you.
All over the United States.
Well, then let me tell you what my strategy is in Houston. I am going to offer one franchise in the Woodlands, one in Kingwood, one in Pearland, one in Sugarland, and one in Katy.
Wow.
And then 5 in the middle. So if anybody's out there who want to secure one of those 5, I call it the STAR plan, I'm going to have 5 franchisees that surround Houston, and I'm going to have 5 in the middle. But it's the law of scarcity. That's it. Once they're gone, they're gone.
And if you're not in Houston, someone could still participate.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to reside in Houston to own a business here.
And if you haven't been to Houston, it's a great excuse to come to meet Jack and talk about this opportunity, because these aren't small footprints. These are pretty nice-sized areas. I mean, you could live fat just having the Woodlands all to yourself.
That's
no doubt.
Right.
You know,
no doubt.
Each of the Z's will be about 200,000 people, each of the franchisees. Sure. And you know what? There's a lot of power washing needed by 200,000 people at a time.
You're going to be busy.
You're going to be busy.
And you'll need more equipment.
And you'll need more equipment.
And you'll need to see me.
And you'll need a bigger wheelbarrow, because you're going to be taking so much money to the bank. Your wheelbarrow is not big enough.
That's right.
The business is called Araya Clean. It's ARAYA Clean. You can email Jack at jackwarkenthine@arayaclean.com. He'll tell you more about the benefits of having a franchise. Houston is such a great market for that. We get 10 months of hot weather, 1 month of weather, and then 1 month it's kind of brisk.
You know, contrast that with a gentleman named Dana up in St. Paul, Minnesota. He's out of the power washing business when it gets below freezing.
Exactly.
And so, you know what? There are people that own these in the north, because they do have to do the power washing as well. But you're better off being south of the Mason-Dixon line.
No doubt.
Yeah, because you can work 12 months out of the year.
That's exactly right.
So, I mean, if you're not in Houston, this is an excellent opportunity.
It's a good place to invest.
Contact our friend Jack. Now, one of the things that I really love about this is Jack is being very modest today. And, Jack, we're going to ask you now. We'd love for you to go ahead and come back later on in the week if you don't mind.
I'd be happy to.
And let's really talk about the sales aspect of what you do.
Yes.
Jack has a company called Next Step Solutions. And I've been introduced to Jack as being the sales master. And after sitting with him for about 30 minutes, I say, you know what, this guy knows what he's talking about. And I love the fact that you are helping these franchisees. If they've not operated in a sales capacity,
Correct.
You're going to bridge that gap for them.
Yeah, they're going to get some value at no extra cost. The fact that I've been doing this all my life. Everything is moved by a sale.
Sure.
Life's a sales call, as everyone's in sales. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to help people with that challenge, because we're all gifted here. Irv, John, we're all gifted. We all have sales ability. Other people, it's a little deeper. We have to help them pull it out.
Surely.
So we'll help them with that challenge.
So you're saying they have it right now? They have that ability.
Everybody has it, yes.
They have that ability.
It's just a matter of identifying it, recognizing it, and pulling it out to the surface.
That's awesome.
And we can, later on this week, we'll talk about some of the things we can do to bring out the best in a person. Because sales, at the end of the day, is about 2 skill sets: interpersonal skills and communication skills.
No doubt.
Interpersonal meaning, can you walk into a room and convert relationships into revenue streams? Communication skills, can you articulate?
Yeah.
How are you with the spoken word, the read word, the heard word, the written word? So sales is all about communications and interpersonal skills. And if you get good at that, you'll be 85% successful in life, regardless of what else happens around you.
Wow.
I'll take those odds.
I would too.
Absolutely.
Now, we're about to go into break, but I want to ask you very quickly, why did you choose, because you're a guy who's operated his own business, you call all the shots, you do it the way that you want to do it. Why the franchise as opposed to starting? And you know what? We only have a minute, so but I want you to start on that, and we may have to pick it up when we come out of break.
I will come back with that after break, because for a year I looked at buying existing businesses.
Really?
Or I looked at starting other businesses. There is a very specific path I took, and I'd like to share my journey with your listeners.
Absolutely. Let's do that, Jack. Can we do that when we come back?
Absolutely.
Let's do that. Folks, you want to hear Jack's path to where he is now with this new opportunity, and I'm excited to hear that. I want to take some notes myself, and you know you should be listening to this show with pen in hand, folks. You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by RingCentral.com. To get RingCentral's virtual PBX for your business, you can call them today at 888-716-5022. Stay with us. We're in the home stretch. We'll be right back.
Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me? Heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is?
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
With my Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus headset, I'm free. Free to talk to you while carrying a laptop bag, holding a cup of coffee, and fishing for my car keys. Now, you may ask me, Jim, is it really necessary to use the phone while doing all these things? My answer is it really necessary not to? Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus. It's my so comfortable, why wouldn't I use it all day headset.
Get your Voyager Pro Plus at Plantronics.com.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
we've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
So how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
Now, the setup in the last segment was I asked Jack, what's the difference? What made you go with a franchise as opposed to going after a business that you would either start yourself or buying an existing business? And Jack, your answer was?
I will tell you, but first of all, going back to what Irv says, grab your pen. Because the Jack snack of the hour is the weakest ink lasts longer than the strongest memory. So don't tell me you're going to remember this. Make sure you write it down. You asked a question that really summarized my journey. I looked at existing businesses. I've already started a business. That wasn't even on the agenda for me with Next Step Solutions in 1995. Mm-hmm. So my real decision was buy an existing business or buy a franchise. And we looked at several ad nauseum trips, due diligence, looked at them. And here was the challenge every time. I would have to spend the first several months undoing what this business had done for the past 12 to 15 years before I got back to where I wanted it to be.
Right.
Mm-hmm. There was no business that I could buy out of the blocks to do exactly how I wanted to approach the market. So I was looking at another 6 months to a year lag buying an existing business before I had it packaged and structured to make money for me.
Absolutely.
I'm a person of simple mind, and I wanted to buy a cookbook. When you buy a franchise, you get a run book. You get a coach. You get a step-by-step-by-step. So you want to own a business. And the run book for AriaClean is fabulous. Any franchise has it. It's a step-by-step-by-step. What to do tomorrow, what to do a week from now, what to do a month from now, what to do a year from now. So I was buying the process because if you remember Michael Gerber, one of friends of mine, who wrote the E-Myth and talked about working on your business instead of in your business. The thing that separates the two is a cookbook. A franchise gives you a path from A to Z, and that compressed my ability to earn money by 6 to 12 months. I will be positive cash flowing in the first 90 days.
Awesome.
Jack, I want to thank you for coming in. I definitely want to get get you nailed down to come back this week if that's possible on your schedule.
It's a deal.
All right, guys, we're going to let you know when we bring Jack back. If you want to get in touch with Jack, remember you can email Jack at jackwarkenth@ariaclean.com. Jack, give your cell phone number one more time.
Sure, 832-344-6998.
I'm John Cruz.
I'm Irv Hughes.
And this is the place where we discuss the topics that inspires entrepreneurs from thought to action. Until tomorrow, be smart, be successful, and above all else,
be in action.
We'll see you tomorrow.
10 seconds.